So first it was Aaron Rodgers, then it was Zach Wilson for a while, then Tim Boyle, then Trevor Siemian, and now, like Dennis the Menace, Robert Saleh says, hey, Mr. Wilson, Zach Wilson back as the starter for the New York Jets. John Butchko from Locked On Jets is shaking his head at me right now for my Dennis the Menace reference, which I totally appreciate and understand. John, all of this also comes on the backdrop of a report from The Athletic that Zach Wilson was reticent to retake the reins because of injury risk and presumably not feeling great about how this was all handled. What do you make of this change now at this point in the season?
I think it shows the Jets have no answers. I mean, when you look at what's happened here, the Jets coaching staff is just so out of ideas that they're going back to a guy they benched 3 weeks ago. I mean, it just,
and a guy who was so bad they traded Aaron Rodgers or traded to get Aaron Rodgers for.
Yeah, I mean, they're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something sparks the team. There's no good answer for the Jets at the quarterback position. You know, you mentioned Aaron Rodgers to Zach Wilson to Tim Boyle to Trevor Siemian. Maybe we can get Brett Rippon in the game into one of these games. They just signed Brett Rippon and make it a 5 quarterback season, which the Jets had back in 2005 when Chad Pennington and Jay Fiedler got hurt. There's no good outcome for the Jets right now. I said this on Locked On Jets the other day. 99 times out of 100, I'd wonder why a player doesn't want to be in a game. I would question Zach Wilson's sanity if he wasn't a little hesitant. And the key is, like, he was hesitant. It's not like he was saying, I'm not going in. The report was that he was hesitant. And, he's been such a lightning rod from criticism, much of it fair. I mean, he really has not been very good. The Jets traded for Aaron Rodgers for a reason. Mm-hmm. Wilson's benchings last year were justified. His benching this year was justified, but he's a lightning rod from criticism. He's not in a situation where he can have success because there's nothing good about this offensive infrastructure. They have 2 good players on offense. They have Garrett Wilson and they have Breece Hall, who's really been bottled up the last couple of weeks because they can't run block. So even one of your 2 good players can't really produce much for you. It's just an ugly situation. And look, it doesn't matter if Zach Wilson plays. It doesn't matter if Trevor Siemian plays. Tim Boyle was cut, which unfortunately I've seen this with the Jets before, where I saw this 4 years ago with Luke Falk, where a quarterback starts on Sunday and is cut before the next game because he plays himself off the roster. It's just, it's another Jets season that's falling apart. I've seen plenty of these through the years, and we're having another one.
Yeah, the nihilism is creeping in for Jets fans everywhere, I'm sure. And Robert Saleh, for his part, said, look, we always knew Zach Wilson was better than these other guys. Congratulations. But we felt like we needed a spark. It seems like all of these quarterback machinations just throw into stark contrast something we talked about the last time we talked, which was Aaron Rodgers got hurt in the first quarter of week 1. Joe Flacco, Josh Dobbs, Joe Flacco was available, 2 weeks ago, and they picked none of these options. That decision seems worse and worse every time we get a new story of, hey, what are the Jets going to do at quarterback now?
I have to go back even further, though, because the whole plan was Zach Wilson needs to sit this year. The whole idea was...
Why is he even on the team?
And it's like, I can see, like, you bring him back as the number 3 quarterback. But if your premise, what the Jets were trying to sell, and I don't really believe it, but what the Jets were trying to tell us this offseason was Zach Wilson's going to sit for 2 years and it's going to be good for him. So how do you put him in a position where he's 1 hit away from being the starting quarterback again? That makes no sense to me. And Saleh was asked about this a few weeks ago. He said it's a fair question. Well, what do you mean it's a fair question? This was obvious to me back during the summer. I was saying this on Locked On Jets, and look, I think we do a great job here at Locked On. I think we got a lot of smart people, but if I can figure this stuff out, the people running the Jets should be able to figure this stuff out.
Stay up to date all year on the New York Jets by subscribing to Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Jets on your favorite podcast app and on YouTube.